How's it going, everybody? I'm Steve Ninja, and welcome back to my channel. So tonight I actually watched a movie that I haven't seen in probably 2 or 3 years. It's one that was released in 1998, and the movie is Rounders. So this movie was directed by John Dahl. It's starring Matt Damon, Edward Norton, John Malkovich, John Turturro, Martin Landau, Famke Janssen, and Gretchen Mol. So what kind of makes this movie special is, if you remember in the mid-2000s, there was a big popularity in poker at that time, and especially in the game of Texas Hold'em poker. And that's because of this movie, really, because a lot of people that kind of played that game were big fans of this movie. And like I said, this was in 1998, but in particular, there was one player that really kind of got people into poker at the time, and his name was Chris Moneymaker. And Chris was actually an accountant that was kind of like a semi-pro poker player, and he got into this tournament in Vegas. It was called the Main Event Texas Hold'em, No Limit Hold'em. And at that time, it basically, in this tournament, basically anybody could play it. It cost you like $10,000 to buy into the tournament. So anybody, a professional or amateur, can get into this game, and he did that. And so in 2003, he actually won the main event, which I think I don't know if it's still the same now, but at that time he won like $1 million for winning this tournament. So that's what kind of made it really popular at that time, because this guy that was not a professional poker player got into this tournament and won. So at that time, everybody got into poker, and ESPN was a big part of it too. They would show the tournament every year. So a lot of people thought they had a chance to win poker at that time, and a lot of people found out they were terrible at poker. But it's because of this movie, and Chris Moneymaker in particular. But on the Blu-ray and the DVD as well, they show Chris Moneymaker. They show a guy named Phil Hellmuth. I think he was like 18 or 19 when he won the World Series back in like 1989. He's on this as Johnny Chan. He won the tournament one year, and also Chris Ferguson as well. So these are all professional poker players that kind of talk about their methods and how they play, and why the game's so popular. It's definitely not popular now. And at that time it was, because like I said, a lot of people found out that they weren't good poker players. So sometimes you get lucky, but it's hard to win that tournament without actually having some skill. And somehow Chris Moneymaker was kind of the exception to that. He hasn't really done a lot of great at poker, since then. I think he's won some tournaments, but he definitely, that was definitely his. I think it takes like 2 weeks to play that tournament, and it was definitely his time to win. And so, like I said, he was a big reason why a lot of people thought they had a chance to win this tournament. So this movie was actually produced by Miramax. If you remember in the 90s, Miramax was huge, kind of taking like kind of a low budget kind of approach and making like big movies out of it, with a lot of future and kind of upcoming stars, at the time. And they did movies in the 90s like Pulp Fiction, Clerks, The Crow, Jackie Brown, Swingers, if you remember that movie, and also Good Will Hunting, just to name some of them. They had quite a few in that decade. So they were kind of like at the time like what like A24 would be now, just kind of an independent kind of company. And obviously I'm not going to get into like, Bob Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein, they were a big part of it, but they took risk on movies and kind of low budgets that kind of had big box office returns, So this movie, I think it did okay at the box office, but to me, it's kind of special. Like I said, I upgraded this from DVD just yesterday, and I had seen this actually a couple of weeks ago. It was at the same place called The Exchange here. There's like 2 locations we have in Indianapolis that are The Exchange, and they have a lot of great stuff in there. I get a lot of stuff from them. A lot of my Criterions come from them. Like a lot of the used ones, they sell mostly used, some new stuff as well. But I love that company. I can't say enough about them. And people that work there, and I know there's like 2 locations. One that's closer to me. I actually got this from a different location. But love that place. Love what they have. The prices are fairly good, and they give me a lot of money on, or like a store credit on a lot of stuff I sell to them. So I was really happy that they still had this, and I had to jump in there and buy it. So, but love that place. But please let me know if you've seen Rounders. Did you get into poker at that time? Back in the like the 2003, 2004, 2005. That was like 2006. That was kind of a peak period there where a lot of people thought they had a chance to win poker at the time. And so, like I said, it was really popular. If you had ESPN at the time, you could see that ESPN's a sports channel, but I think they still show poker on there. I don't have ESPN anymore, but at that time it was just really popular, and I couldn't wait to watch it every year just because. It starts off with thousands of people in this tournament, and it gets down to the final table, and then somebody actually wins $1 million. It's a big deal. Like I said, it's a $10,000 buy-in. Anybody off the street can play it. And I think it's still the same way now. It's just the popularity has gone way down since then. But it's exciting if you could be. Like, a lot of times you see a lot of amateurs poker players win the tournament. Even now, a lot of them are. They may be semi-pros, or maybe they've played some professional, but a lot of them are kind of like, I think they used to do like a online buy-in kind of thing. They used to do that a lot in the 2000s, where people were amateurs could get like a sponsorship, or they win like a satellite tournament or whatever online, and get that whoever they won that tournament from would pay their $10,000 to get them into the tournament. So but a lot of amateurs have won the Texas Hold'em. So, but exciting. But please put a like on this video. Please, if you are not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. And have a good night. Thank you. Bye.